I think Kabachat is a bit of too aggressive at moments, and he can be abused, I think, if you play against him. Same for Shook, I think. Nukdok is solid. I don't know, I think Vitality is strong oriented bot side team, and they have good shot calling as well.
Welcome back. Our next match is between the Unicorns of Love and Vitality, two teams tied at 5-2. But before we get a look at the teams, we want to highlight a marquee matchup over in the Turkish Champions League. They've got last spring's champs Besiktas going up against the winner of the summer split Dark Passage in their game of the week. The action gets underway at 4 p.m. Central European Time, and that is next Tuesday, this Tuesday actually. So mark your calendars rather. A really cool matchup there. Really cool matchup here as well. Vitality taking on the UOL. And we heard there Hillesang saying, I think Cabo is a kind of person that you could put something up against. He played Lucian yesterday. What do you make of that statement?
Well, playing Lucian top is kind of risky. You can just pick Malphite or some other tank and just destroy him. Or like lanes up upon him and he kind of gets useless. But that game, they got a pretty good lanes and he just got ahead of 1v1 and it's really good 1v1. So.
And it's a big statement from Hillesang in my opinion. Saying, oh, it's easy enough to play against Kabashad, it's predictable, whatever. I mean, yes, Vitality will camp for Kabashad with Shook. Time and time again, but it's been working. And no other team is right now able to really counter it too much, unless you can beat them 2v2 or maybe lane swap, as you talked about, and avoid that 1v1 and 2v2 Kabashad and Shook always puts up.
Do you feel that yesterday they played H2K-esque? Do you think in general that Vitality takes on more of an H2K-esque style? Because in the beginning of the year we thought, oh, with all this mechanical power they have on their squad, they might just want to go for the straight-up lane outplays.
They're playing pretty smart as team. Like they're doing a lot of lane subs and they're playing them pretty good and they always get ahead of enemy teams. So they're kind of like H2K, yeah, with strong individual players. Yeah, they're a strong team overall. Especially
the game yesterday against Elements, it was basically a standard H2K game, not like the one we saw today where it was a bit of a clown fiesta with a lot of fights going on, but where it's built around never team fighting. Honestly, just push every single lane from the start of the game and always out-rotate the other team. That's what we saw from Vitality yesterday. We want to see more of that, because combine that with the strong players, that's how you get a great team, obviously. Strong players and good macro play, that's the foundation.
And that's the winning recipe on the side of Vitality. Now, let's take a look at the Unicorns of Love. You said in the beginning of the split, this is the best shot calling I've ever seen.
From the Unicorns of Love.
From the Unicorns of Love, and it's starting to ring through. Now they've had the third jungler in a couple of weeks, Rudy, and they're still putting up great games. Perks, what is it about the Unicorns that makes it that whatever jungler comes in, they're able to perform?
I think Unicorns have really smart top laner support who are like there for a long time, and they're pretty solid players actually overall. Like they're pretty underestimated, I think, especially with Ichachi. Like he's a really strong player. He has good mechanics, good TP plays, and I think they're doing a lot for the team.
And also now with Sheepy, we heard in the interview yesterday talk more about focusing on the team and how they were playing. They wanted to be more consistent, more focused on strategy. Last year was focused on crazy picks and like insane games. Now, what should we say again? The foundation for this team in how they want to play is there, so you can plug and play players a bit more. Do you think now, let's just say, like you took Trick out and you put in a new jungler, would you guys play exactly the same way you're playing now? And he would just be able to kind of fit in and follow you guys?
I don't think so, because Trick is like a really big point of us for early game. He does a lot of early game shot calling or invading or whatever, so it will be a bit harder.
What if we removed you from the team and put in your mid lane instead?
But you can pick who.
Me, we would be lost.
Okay.
Oh, wow, Perks, big words. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Anyways, the players are ready, so we're going to dive into this matchup and go over to Pyrotechnics and Stress.
Thank you very much, Shocks. I've come over and commandeered the caster. This is my first mate. Stress is still here.
I was going to say, speaking of removing people, we figure get Trevor out of here, get in Pyrotechnics for game 3.
After a game like that, I don't blame him, to be honest. It was pretty insane.
Don't challenge me, Pyro. Don't challenge me.
I'm gonna do my best not to, but just in case, just be on the lookout for things. Let's take a look at our two squads, lining up on the blue side. For the Pink Ponies, it is Visit Chachi in the top lane, Rudy in the jungle. That's their third in several weeks. Fox in the mid lane, Steelback Deity carry, Hillesang on support, and of course, their coach, Sheepy.
And this game is a bit of a menagerie when it comes to it, because on the red side of the rift, we have the Yellow Bees of Vitality. Up in the top lane is Kabashad, Shook in the jungle, Nukduk in the mid lane, Hyanan in AD carry, Kasing support with their coach Sean's.
Yep, another coach that's definitely come up and become a very, very big figure for his team. They talked a lot about it at the beginning of the season, how much of an influence he has on that squad. We'll have to see how it shakes out in picks and bans. These guys both sitting in the third place position, tied it up right now, and this will tip the scales for these two in the standings.
And when you look at that being tied third, I think you'd kind of expect that for Vitality, even though they've been underperforming a little. But Unicorns coming into it, we were talking about who's going to step up and take the carry mantle away now that Power of Evil's not there. Unicorns have looked really sharp, actually. They've looked impressive when it comes to their performance.
Yeah.
So I'm now interested to see who is going to retain sole possession of this third place.
Yeah, we've definitely had a number of unicorns stepping up and doing some impressive things. We've talked about Steelback and how strong he has looked, especially with Illisang and the synergy that those two have built up in the weeks that they've been a part of the team. But how about Chachi? We saw Odo in the last game go off on Poppy, but Chachi, the OG Poppy player, pre-WeWork, right? He's been a pretty impressive carry in his own right in a number of games.
We haven't seen Poppy on him, though.
One day.
We've seen some other stuff. We've seen, like, the cannon come out from Visit Chachi.
Played GP yesterday when it was left open.
Yeah, he did. And, it's really interesting to see Visit Chachi as a player because, he was known a little bit, actually, like Kabashad, as somewhat of an innovator when it comes to Challenger. Visit Chachi, Kabashad, and Odo Amne played in the same kind of Challenger tournaments back in 2013, and all of them would bring these new picks in. You'd see Visit Chachi with the Poppy, with the Yorick, with these crazy compositions, but Chachi is probably the one of the three that has yet to cement himself as being like one of Europe's best, and he's just on the fringe. Just there. I think a dominating performance potentially over Kabashard may raise him up again in other people's estimations.
Well, that's going to be a tough ask. You look at what Kabashard was able to pull off yesterday. Obviously had a penchant for carry champions throughout last season on Gambit, but he always required a lot of gold to get him going. This time, well, he got himself that gold, picked that Lucian into GP, and man, we saw him tear it up. Fast tower pushes, absolutely went off.
I think, though, we heard Perks talking about it. It's not the kind of thing that you can pick every single game. Tanks can kind of destroy it like a Malphite. So I do wonder. Now Chachi is a stronger opponent in lane, I think, than Steve when it came to Steve's Gangplank. Let's find out what Vitality have got for us.
We will indeed as we load up into picks and bans. On the blue side, ponies are going to take Graves away. That is another pick that Kabashard has been playing. Started that off a couple of games in a row in the top lane. So we won't have the option to take it this time. What does Vitality answer with?
That is the question. It's going to be a support off the board. We heard a lot about Thresh, but it's Alistair that's the first support that's got.
I still think Thresh is going to be very contested. Lulu is taken away. Kalista is not an option either now, as Vitality have chosen to remove that.
So do we see the Corki ban come out and then force either a Lucian ban, or it's a Gangplank that gets taken away? Again, and Perks just talked about how, it's not the best blue side ban because you should be able to play it, and seemingly they don't.
Well, and you've also got the issue there that when it was first picked yesterday, we saw Kabashard then immediately take the Lucian. So the Kindred's banned off. Rudy won't have a chance to shine on that champion. We kind of glazed over this a little bit, but he had an incredibly impressive contribution for kill on there.
Now, do Unicorns first pick Corki for the middle lane, or do they first pick their bot lane and say, well, you can play Corki into it, we're fine with that? I feel like Corki is probably the better pick just from it being a flex that is a standard flex, but they don't want to let Kabashard or Hyanan get their hands on this Lucian.
So it'll be a ballsy move to leave that Corki up, but they do indeed. And we'll see if that gets locked in immediately for Vitality.
So this kind of rotation, you could be looking at a Poppy and a Corki. Elise is up, so you could see Poppy Elise. May see the presence on this Thresh be taken away here if Kasing wants to get his hands on that. Both Kasing and Hillisang, big Thresh players. And I've noticed a bit of a change in Vitality when they're playing with the Thresh, as opposed to Kasing on the likes of a Morgana. Kasing seems to be more active, always moving forward on Thresh. There's no real hesitation for him, unlike on the Morgana where he's fine to play from behind. He's just more willing to make plays.
Yeah, he certainly is, and I think they've got to really think about what they want to prioritize for this first pick. You can see Kasing talking through the mic there, and they will, at the last couple seconds, tick down, go ahead and take that Thresh away, and they will also grab the Elise for Shook. We'll have to see what Rudy picks up, since we've only seen him on this Kindred, now banned away. If he decides to go with the jungle this rotation, they don't need to do it unless they want to hide something.
Well, the support jungle roaming pack is going to have a lot of single target crowd control right now, and the ability to set up plays as well. Not really showing anything too much, though. This is Vitality just saying, okay, well, we'll just pick a standard first rotation. Poppy available, Corki available now have fallen through. And this is one of the other things that UOL are fortunate with. Enough power picks were available. that the second rotation now becomes the point of focus.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has fallen through. You mentioned that Corki. We'll see if Rudy goes a little bit more standard route on that Rek'Sai, or if they go for the Poppy, and the Corki is locked. They're going for it. So Visit Chachi, I want to see Chachi play this.
Well, I have one caveat that I would put forward. Rudy is a player that has come from being really high up on solo queue, and in solo queue, Poppy jungle does destroy people.
I've heard he plays jungle only.
Yes, he has. We'll see whether it's high as Poppy at this point. I am expecting it more likely to go up to Chachi in the top lane. I haven't seen him since the rework on Poppy. That's a cool one for me that we're going to see. He always plays the Crimson, is it Crimson Fist Poppy?
Crimson Hammer.
The Crimson Hammer one, yeah, that is... That's the one. So we'll see whether he sticks to that. But nevertheless, that's kind of the rotation we were expecting. Now we're likely looking at the Ezreal to be picked up by Hyanan if he wants to opt for what everybody else is doing. Other options could be the Caitlyn we've seen Forgiven pick up. Misfortune and Morgana has tended to be what they go for. And
Fiora, though, too. Cabo decides to do it blind. And we got a Jinx lock in 2 for Yarnan. Jinx Thresh lane, have not seen this in a little while.
Jinx is a champion that's speaking to a lot of AD carries. They were talking about being a fairly weak pick when it comes to AD carries. Just in the overall sense. She's very rarely talked about, even in the B tier, where it's like Misfortune, Ezreal. What Jinx is always going to be able to do is push towers very quickly with the attack speed that ramps up from her Gatling gun, but this is a pick that we are yet to have seen in the EU LCS.
Yeah, so far in this split, it was definitely a lot more powerful and popular last year, and everyone was loving the hyper carries, but the lack of escapes that Jinx possesses does make it a bit difficult. But Yarn and Kasing, very solid bot lane together. We'll see if they can pull it together because there's a Braum lock-in for Hylissang, which means if we see the Lucian Braum lane, now that is a bully lane if I ever saw one. Last pickup in the jungle, of course, is going to be that Rek'Sai. So we know where the Poppy's going, and I'm happy about it.
And that means we're just waiting on mid lane into Corki. We've seen the Ahri matchup played by Perks yesterday. He got the kill onto Power of Evil, that was. Pretty much 1 versus 1, and the rest of Origin were coming in when he got the kill. So will we see the Ahri from Nukeduck? Looking at other options, Victor is available, but doesn't quite do so well in the laning phase, needs time. Still options for Nukeduck.
Still options indeed. Should be a fairly safe lane for Fox if he plays it outright, but there is the Ahri lock-in, so Nukeduck says, I can take you on. Got himself that Ignite, and now we'll have to see how these two shake out. This could be a very explosive game, a whole lot of damage on both sides.
So I wonder whether we'll see Vitality running the same kind of setup that they were looking to do yesterday, where you have Kabashad in the 1v1, looking to scale up, looking to take control of that. You have Nukeduck on Ahri, take control of the other side lane, and always push it out and regroup with the team quickly. And then the rest of the pack's kind of mid lane pushing. I wonder if that's what Vitality are going for. It's a difficult comp to pull off, and it requires a lot of vision control, especially against the likes of a Corgi, who has the package. Rek'Sai can cover a lot of distance very quickly with the ultimate as well, and Chachi will have the teleport as always.
We will have to see indeed if the Unicorns can pull off that coordination that they have been so excellent at adapting, and Vitality is going to be a tough ask for them. But as it all stands, a hush settles over as the coaches will shake hands, get ready to walk off stage. But for now, we are ready to go. The lineups are locked. It's time to load up for this match to the top of the standings.
Ignite takes him, but the tower shot! Oh,
They seem really strong.
Just in the 2v2, I don't think it would be super much problem.
Gion is flashed away! He's got a triple kill with bullet time!
I feel like so much more confident now that I have Steelback next to me, and I can finally play my trash and show that I'm good.
We already saw what he can do with the champion. They'll even leave open Thresh so that they want him to pick it. They are much better than the Unicorns roster before.
And we knew that Thresh was going to be a contested pick. And we also know that these two bot lanes are going to go right at each other. I'm excited to see this 2v2 Stress.
I am as well. We'll see if Kasing is comfortable. He has his Thresh. He has his pillows as well, the Baron pillow that a fan so kindly gave him to make sure he is comfortable in the game. But it is all about the side lanes, as is with the current meta right now. And, you feel like Vitality are looking to just grab control of that fairly early and continue pushing with this Jinx. very, I want to call it like an old school pick of Jinx, just because
It is really. This pairing is old school.
It is. And, you know, you have the Thresh to give the Jinx safety. Jinx can push the towers very quickly. You have wave clear that comes from Jinx, from the rockets, and global presence with the ult. But a lot of people just feel like, because there were a lot of changes to itemization and the way that the laning phase plays out, and like champions like Lucian were just touted as being better because you have a good laning phase and the good ability to push towers, decent wave clear on top of it as well. Jinx, we're going to have to see whether Hjarnan can make it work.
Well, it is that traditional hyper carry, you know, up there with the Tristanas of the league, but the reason I think on top of all the early pushing power that Lucian and Corki were so powerful is the games are shorter on average now, and we're not getting to these late game points where the hyper carries are just out of control. And you see champions like Lucian not fall off as hard.
Exactly. That is exactly right. We are ending up in a lane swap, so no two. Sorry, Fyra.
Oh well.
Okay, I mean,
it's the smart thing to do.
Well, it's going to happen because this is how the game is in a meta game right now, is you have the lane swap to kind of get the game in that situation and then look to control side lanes from it. We're going to take a look at Keystone Mastery.
Yeah, mirrored across the board too.
Yep.
They got a nice little spread of them all.
Array of colors.
Yeah.
Keystone Masteries at this point.
If you guys are unsure about them as well, we had a wonderful segment at the top of the day. Be able to catch that one again later. Courtesy of Quickshot. Now, Hylissang will be making some moves around this jungle. Shook and Kabashard have already secured the red buff. You got to be careful not to run smack dab into him as Kasing goes on an early roam of his own while his free push for both AD carries in the reverse lanes.
Fox in this middle lane has already managed to kind of pressure Nukeduck away. Hylissang's getting right up in here. It's just making it difficult for Shook.
Yeah, that Raptor's going to reset.
To do anything here. It's running out of patience. It's like, come on, guys. Are you gonna deal with me, or are you gonna have to go back home?
Hilly's not gonna.
No, well, Hilly fighting this Raptor this early on would
be very
about
slow.
A minute, and we'd be here, and he would probably die to it before he'd ever get it. But Vitality, on the other hand, not concerned with the jungle camps, are already pushing on. Have this tower down below half health. Unicorns are only just getting to the tower here, so they don't quite have the pushing potential that this Jinx has. And this is one of the things in a lane swap, Jinx is going to do very well because you have that ramping up auto attack speed, you have the ability to push the waves very quickly with the rockets, and it results in the tower going down for Vitality before Unicorns even have the other tower at half health.
Yeah, definitely dropping the ball there. Unicorns were the one that started this lane swap, but it's Vitality that are on the board ahead of them. And as you said, this Jinx, inferior 2v2 lane since you want to take a while to get rolling, but they don't have to worry about a thing.
One thing that you kind of have to worry about if you Nukeduck just for 3 more levels is the mid lane matchup. Perks talked about it yesterday, talking about Corki into the Ahri, and Fox is already bullying Nukeduck around pre-6. It's kind of to be expected. Tower finally falls in the top lane, but once Nukeduck 6 should be okay.
Oh, that ward saved the life. And Hylissang is caught. He's going to step on the traps, but he's unbreakable for just another moment. Rudy's there, the flay backward. Kasing really wants to get a kill for Hjarnan to start things off. These two, the synergy has been so real. The rocket, it's burning his health, and he just barely survives, munching a biscuit as he goes. Man, it was close.
Just got that cookie and didn't want to put the cookie down, but at this point, Unicorns of Love don't want to let up in the mid lane either. 32 CS to 23. That was a nice sequence in the top lane, but again, it's a little bit of a distraction from where the real lead is opening up for now. The towers were traded fairly evenly, which means we're fairly even on gold as well. Vitality have edged themselves ahead because Chachi is behind Kabashard as well when it comes to the CS. So again, it's going to be about who can become stronger in this Chachi versus Kabashard matchup. We just saw it with Steve and Odoamne, where Steve ended up becoming more powerful to duel the 1v1, but in team fights just couldn't offer as much as Poppy.
Yeah, top laners have just become so critical with the way the meta is shaping up. These carries becoming very popular, very situationally used, but always the mind games and the picks and bans. Vitality are on this tower a lot quicker than Unicorns once again. So we see these fast pushes turning around. This is exactly what Vitality want for Hjarnan.
And not only is Cabo up in CS, he's also up way up in experience. He's over a whole level up on Visit Chachi. So it means that Kabashard, just getting into this game a little bit earlier on, is going to be able to scale that bit faster than Visit Chachi. Of course, we talked about it. Oh, Kabashard's actually going bot. Feels he can defend this turret, and of course he can. It's only Visit Chachi that's there.
Big blind spot for Unicorns. They thought they were going to be able to fast push this and save it, but because they're so far behind, they don't even get the second tower. So now Steelback and Hylissang are going to have to clear this wave here. Rift Herald is opened up. Vitality are pinging for it. They're just 2 steps ahead of Unicorns right now.
And I like the strategy from Vitality. They say, hey, okay, what's the meta right now? We have to push towers fairly early on, control side waves. Good. Who's good at doing that? Jinx is good at doing that. What do we got to do? We got to get rid of like Kalista and make sure we don't end up in a 2v2. Sweet. Let's do it. Let's get the Jinx. It's working out so far for Vitality, but they're ahead of the play when it comes to map movements. Rudy's gone bottom lane.
Cabochard is in trouble. He's got to burn his flash. He's safe. Looks to dash back in and secure an extra bit of CS before backing on out. So with the use of the Summoner, he stays alive. Meanwhile, pressure on the top side as Shook backs away now with the mini Baron buff, courtesy of the Rift Herald. See what he decides to push. Looks like he's heading bottom side right now. If they can keep this turret defended, they have the advantage. So far, close to 1,000 gold lead for Vitality in this game.
Good luck getting through mid for a while, though.
That's a farm fest if I ever saw one.
Gonna be able to, not quite as much as our last game, which was Victor versus
No, that's true.
So it is still difficult.
It's a less efficient farm fest.
However,
let's take a look.
Shook has snuck his way into bottom lane.
Waiting very patiently. The spider in the web flashes, gets the cocoon, and Chachi's in trouble. On a run now. Here comes Rudy, though, and he will deter them. Chachi makes his escape, courtesy of some minions as well.
Yeah, Chachi pays the fare, gets himself away. Rudy was already deep inside the enemy jungle. You can see the wards he actually put down from his tracker's knife, put down a pink ward as well. So has the whole bot side jungle warded when it comes to camps. So Rudy is already taking, you know, a solo queue attitude and throwing it out the window. Let's just get deep vision control. Let's play for the team, play for everything, not just about himself.
Yeah, very impressive how he has managed to integrate himself into this team so far. We saw the same thing with Joko, who's now over in Millennium as well, but or Ben in Millennium as well. But it really has been impressive to see Unicorns be able to swap players out like this as Shook gets a steal away. As soon as I praise him, well, it was an individual mistake from Rudy there.
Yeah, the thing is, Rudy even had his smite, I think.
Yeah, no, he did. He just he didn't think Shook was coming.
The ward over the wall, you saw it, man.
Last time I praised somebody.
Yeah, I know.
Always happens.
Cursed to always have it happen just after you sing that phrase.
I know. Well, Yarnan's going to be pushing on the bottom side here. He's easy enough wave clear with those rockets. Kasing does the same thing that Rudy was doing, gets a lot of ward coverage in this bottom side. So much traded back and forth. Well, let's take a look on the mid lane since Vitality are heading up there, see if they can get a collapse onto Fox. It would be difficult due to his Valkyrie. So hard to gank a Corki, but Rudy's not far behind.
And cleanse and flash.
Yeah, maybe they're not going to try it.
Bugs is super safe right now. Nothing has forced him to burn any of those. So Vitality are looking for the next best thing for themselves right now, knowing they have bot lane control, bot jungle control, and a Jinx that is going to be able to power down this dragon very quickly.
Not a lot of contest options. And they left Cabochard in the top to be able to free
they could collapse on
this wave. Hylissang, Nukeduck waits on the charm and he doesn't get it. He stands behind Fox and he is nice and safe. We'll have to see what the Unicorn's next move is. Rudy heading up towards this top side, seeing if he can control more of this jungle as he starts the red buff. Slides and glides back on towards him. Only Cabochard is really there, no teleport available, but Vitality are already doing the opposite on the bottom side.
But look at where Cabochard's had the wave for the last few minutes. He's building up this big stack of minions, and he's had it on this side of the map for a while, and it's really dropped Chachi's support, Chachi's CS and levels here. Chachi doesn't even have access to his ultimate. Cabochard is level 7, but here comes Rudy trying to fix this problem. Cabochard, who's he going to go aggressive on?
Knock in, gets the parry, but Chachi knocks him against the wall. There's a steadfast presence, prevents him from getting out of there, and now he's got the heal shield on. Rudy was taking a lot of mini aggro, but Chachi swaps back in, still not level 6. He's 1v2ing right now. This is crazy. Cabochard pushes Unicorns away.
Cabochard has a serious amount of damage, but even with the irritating play that UOL were doing there, Visit Chachi and Rudy just kind of bouncing back and forth on top of each other so the Vital couldn't get proc. First package of the game.
Fox is going on in. He gets locked up though, but he's going to be able to get away with the cleanse, and he gets first blood flashing away as Chachi comes in for the defense. Nukeduck and Rudy are in right behind. There's the hammer. Knock him away, and the Unicorns get out square with a kill as the rocket misses. Double now. Fox with the back end. Nice rocket.
Yeah, not the best rocket from Hyanan, though, at the same time. That was just Vitality not quite being able to close the same distance that Fox did. And Fox turning up with the package play that looked like it was going to backfire on him. It looked like Cabochard and Shook were going to be able to outduel, but just not enough from Cabo. Fox had the cleanse, had the flash available to get himself around in the fight, and Nukeduck just behind the play. I'm going to try and watch Nukeduck's tracking on the map. Like, look, he's still just leaving mid lane as Fox enters the top lane. Cabochard does a decent job of just kind of moving around this fight. Fox already used that cleanse, uses that flash to get himself away from Shook, and now the damage turns around. Nukeduck doesn't manage to land the charm because Fox sidesteps it and then goes whoop all the way back to base.
And that's all so spooky. Even the Krugs wanted to get involved in it. But yeah, really, really close. Very expensive pickup for Fox, securing 2 kills on that one at the cost of 2 summoners. But you always got to say, #worth. And after all that, Unicorns have got themselves a gold lead. Take a look at that fan vote, though. 50-50. These two teams, it's so close, and it's so close in the fans as well.
Well, it's, I mean, it's a good sign for these teams. Vitality, of course, a new organization to League, not a new organization overall. Unicorns are in their 2nd year now of being an LCS organization, so clearly fan bases for both of these.
Yeah, Unicorns usually can bank on that fan vote win, though, unless it's against a team like Fnatic. So Vitality definitely coming out in force on Twitter. We'll see if they can do the same on the Rift. 200 gold down. It's 11.5 or almost 12 minutes into this game as Chachi trying to push Cabochard away as he takes a tower shot. Still very far behind in the CS this game, but it has been a lot of action, not so many kills. A lot of rotations around this map. Shook looking to potentially start up the Rift Herald. He does with the help of the Sing roaming around, and Cabochard as well.
Fairly shortly, though, we're going to start realizing the difference between Hjanen and Steelback when it comes to their power. Hjanen obviously waiting for that 2nd item, the attack speed item, to finish his first BF item. If that goes into Infinity Edge, which has been talked about time and time again, about how as a first item, it's not great because it's a multiplier. It's kind of been done to death. So there is a timing window for Steelback and an experience window, level 9 to level 7. So that's been the exchange, is experience onto the AD carry in exchange for top laners. In UOL's favor for AD carry, top lane for Vitality. Which one is going to have the more impact, I wonder? We will see, because Steelback is already level 9.
There's that level 9 Culling. Sing and Yarden will make their escape, but they got some pressure on the mid turret. So much minion side pushing from Vitality's side here as Nukeduck patiently waits in the brush for Rudy. Doesn't know.
Oh,
now he knows. Okay. Tremor Sense coming in handy. 2-level difference. That would have been bloody.
Whew, that could have been a big play for Nukeduck. But he had no Ignite, so I guess he was kind of like, oh, do I feel confident about this? Nah, I'm going to back away. Had that been somebody like Steelback or Hylissang, he may have just gone for it. I think
Very
Rudy
aggressive.
has enough to get away.
Aggressive, too.
Experience is actually leveled up between top laners now. Chachi's been given the time. Cabochard hasn't really had time to get any farm himself.
He's got back up in the game. Cabo is also still sitting on basic boots himself. While Chachi has gone the very early Boots of Swiftness start to try and move around the map a lot more, obviously very valuable. You still see Cabochard taking some damage after the Steadfast Presence is finished up. He's got the Rift Herald buff on, but not as powerful as that Baron buff, as we've mentioned often.
Yeah.
Chachi's able to clear this wave away with the hammer very slowly, one shot at a time.
Also, the other thing these Swiftness boots are going to do for Chachi is early on, even in like small skirmishes and any team fights that come up later, he's able to just get straight through the fight. It's like, I'm just going, I've got a lot of movement speed, I'm going to smash somebody into a wall and get my W up.
Position quickly. I mean, Cabo's trying to do the same thing, especially when he locks a grand challenge on those vitals. You have to be able to dash around to try and find it. So these two ever get in Mortal Kombat, it is definitely going to be a fight to the finish. We'll have to see as the farm alarm goes ring-a-ding-ding, and Rudy goes looking for his red buff. It's not going to be there, though. Cabo still pushing heavy on the top side, and he finds Chachi a little bit outside the lane. 1-level difference, but there he goes after the parry, knocks him into the wall. Steadfast Presence is up, and it is just a battle of the bruisers, but the grand challenge is issued, and Chachi says no thank you.
Yeah, Chachi, if that tower wasn't there, would have likely been traded more against by Cabochard.
Dead Yordle.
Yeah, but maybe. It's kind of one of those situations where Chachi actually held his nerve and held his ultimate. So if Cabochard was going to continue to go forward, he'd either just knock him straight up and disengage or full channel and force him to run away.
Right.
So Chachi wasn't actually in kill range for Cabochard there. Not that spot of the map anyway.
So while the game has definitely settled down, you can still see that Vitality is hanging on to this map control lead they have. They're grabbing themselves another dragon here. Unicorns would love to be able to steal this one away, but they're not in position to do so. They smite it down. Question is, Where do the Unicorns really go from here to get
Mid lane.
this one?
Mid lane they go right now because you can see, look, the vision control is already here. Hylissang is going to wait and just slow Vitality. Wave clear from B. Teleport coming out too.
Oh, a big package from Fox, and he's turning his attention immediately to the Jinx. Ignited Yarnan already burned both of his both of his summoners rather, as Nukeduck is going to try to foxily sneak his way away. That means everyone's gotten out on the side of Vitality, and Unicorn's Gambit does not pay off here as the tower, no damage on it still.
Split focus for the Unicorns there. Some went after Cabochard, some went after Hyanan, some went down for Nukeduck, and it means that Vitality were able to position behind the tower. Unicorns may have been able to just rush them into the mid lane with this Lucian, with the Corki. They have a fairly fast tower push, and without Nukeduck being in position, the wave clear wasn't there. Now it's there, it's established, Vitality can defend that turret, and Unicorns kind of have to reset this play. They've got a wave pushing away from them in the top lane and pushing in towards them in the bottom lane. So somebody has to go down bottom and clear that out. Chachi now doesn't have a TP. Fox doesn't have the package either. So two of those utilities to cross them out very quickly are down. Maybe it has to be Rudy with the ultimate.
Might be able to do, as he's got it very shortly off a cooldown. Fox and Steelback still hanging around. Mop-up duty in the mid lane. Also some help from Hylissang there as he stands behind him, or stands in front of him as it were. And they send Chachi down to do the cleanup.
And I wonder now, with this next wave pushing in, Tower's on half health, Hylissang's recalling, Corki's over in the jungle as well. Vitality may feel out a push in this middle lane just from VIT Chachi being down there without teleport. Cabo can go top because he has his teleport available, so he can catch that wave and look to make a play in the middle lane. But Vitality aren't going to go for the all-in play here. Rudy has his ult to get back into the lane. And it means Vitality just going to nudge at the tower and not actually push up to it. This could be a very slow game here. We're already 17 minutes in, only 2 kills on the board.
Yeah, well, Unicorns definitely had a pretty slow start to the game yesterday. Really wasn't until 19 minutes that first blood was picked up, so we've already beaten that metric, but Vitality definitely want to be a little quicker about it, I think.
Well, they're going to get slowed down by something, and it's something we haven't seen in a little while. Something that kind of has changed around being standard when it comes to extra cooldown reduction on Lucian. So we're going to have that culling up fairly often. We'll be able to get that and push down lanes. Is standing at 20% CDR right now with Boots of Lucidity and the Essence Reaver.
Nice to see. Vitality still have been controlling the objectives in the river. The Rift Herald should go in their favor as well. This will be the last one available, as Yarnan, though, is unfortunately caught out, throws the traps, but he is knocked in, battered and bruised. Kasing can't get to his rescue in time. Chachi's got the kill. Kasing has got to flay away, but he won't be getting away. Stunned up, Winner's Bite hit down, and Steelback takes him out.
This is one of the problems with Jinx, though, is on her own, she is a very big weakness when it comes to getting picked off. No escape mechanism when your flash is down, like Hyanan gets caught trying to come across to Kasing. The fact that Rift Herald was taken down and there was a global warning is a big enough factor that UOL know that they can just make that catch.
They're able to push a tower, look to push another one. Shook is only the one here to defend. That is going down, so another tower picked up by Unicorns, 2 in the middle. A couple more kills, 4-0 now. They've got themselves 2K in the lead.
And despite the fact that Nukeduck and Cabochard were pushing in the top and bottom lane, they can't actually get too much more. Someone should come down to deal with Nukeduck. And in that middle lane, Hylissang actually tanked up like 3 or 4 tower shots just to ensure that they got it. Otherwise, the minion wave would have died too early. They would have had to have backed away and looked to reset. So just cutting a corner for the Unicorns of Love that pays off in a fairly big way.
Yeah. Dodging the cocoon, Shook looking to push forward. Vitality want to answer back this one. Nukeduck still sitting in the brush, but he's spotted again. Rudy, he's not going to be fooled by that trick. He's played too many games.
Yeah, too many solo queue games with no communication to know that just fire out the Prey Seeker every now and again into those common spots Inari would be waiting. I think it's kind of that inevitable time now with Rift Herald on. That middle tower is going to get taken down. Of course, minion waves not really affected in anything other than attack speed with that Rift Herald buff.
It's enough, though.
It's enough.
Let's take a look at Yarnan getting caught, because he just steps way too far over here.
He actually just steps out. There's not even a ward here from the Unicorns that spotted him. That's actually just like a solo mistake from Hyanan, which is very rare. We rarely see that kind of mistake where it's like, I'm moving forward here, especially with no flash.
And especially with regards to playing with Kasing. I mean, he's been on the squad with him for, at this point, roughly a year. Not the same squad, but in the same.
Yeah, I think we're actually on a year now. Week 4, week 5 was when Kasing came in last year.
Yeah. So really, it has been kind of strange to see in this situation. Yarden making a solo mistake with that. Don't expect to see too much more of it as Rudy moves his way back to blue buff still. Unicorns throwing their weight around. So Vitality got off on the better foot. We'll have to see when these two do clash who comes out ahead in the full team fight. So far, just been a couple of catches, chases around the map. Nothing massive in this game. Vitality still, though, have a Cabo Shard, have a Fiora. See if that split push can come in handy. I think Chachi is in a place to stop him still.
Well, one thing that could come in handy right now is some of the items that are in Kasing's inventory. He's opting for the, the build towards the Aegis and the Legion. One already completed on Shook, so as you'd kind of expect right now, one's going to lock it. Will Kasing put it in Banner of Command to slow down some of the wave clear from Fox?
Situational, I suppose.
It is. Remember Corki now is like 70% magic damage as well, so it is more difficult to deal with. They do have a Lucian ahead of Poppy, so it's not the end of the world. It's not like they're running a triple AP comp and they're like, oh no, bannered up minion, what do I do?
Hey man, they're tough.
They are.
They're tough banner.
We had one in Challenger the other day that took like 3 people to kill because they were running like Quadra AP composition. Oh, we watched that for like a whole minute of like an Elise trying to auto attack.
I have to type that in dynamic queue every single time I play now. Chachi's dueling it out with Cabo Shard, but as so many of these fights have been, it looks like it will be just a standoff. This time it's the Unicorns that head their way towards the Dragon Pit, forestalling the Vitality extra ones. That's the first for them. That means they will get that extra 6% AD and AP. And in...
Uh-oh, Rudy, you're going right into the middle.
Into a trap, into a hook. Hello, it's all of Vitality, but Hylissang is there. Fox around the side, finds Yarden, gets himself a spree kill. Kasing now is going to have to flash out of harm's way as Cabo Shard can't 1v5, and Shook's burned his flash as well. 2 quick kills for Unicorns, all set up by an untimely ult.
Oh, that was just dangerous, but a cost that pays off for Rudy. The ultimate going straight in between the rest of Vitality. Vitality couldn't group on him fast enough to take him out, and the Unicorns were already in position running up from the Dragon. That was just catching out Vitality, and this is one of the problems that Vitality have actually succumbed to in the last couple of weeks, most notably in their game against H2K, when they haven't had enough vision control to read fights and read situations, so they've either been forced into bad fights or no fights, and it stalled the game out to the point where Vitality got outscaled by H2K. Problem is, Unicorns are really good at skirmishing right now in this game. Unicorns don't want to wait later in this game. They have 6 kills already, and Vitality know that something has to happen quickly, and that could be the Baron here. They saw Fox in the bottom lane, no package available, so he can't cross the distance, and Vitality are on this. They're going to check for the Unicorns. Hylissang's going to spot it. He's rumbled them, but isn't enough.
And sniffed it out, but the Baron is already so low. Chachi coming in around the side. This is such an early Baron. It's so dangerous here. It's secured up by Shook, but now Kasing is caught, trying to run away. Shook won't be so lucky. Chachi nails him with the hammer and splats the spider. Nonetheless, Vitality get out without losing more than 1.
The important thing there was Cabo said, okay, you guys, if 1 or 2 of you die, that's fine. I'm backing out of here because I need this Baron buff for my solo lane push. I need to be able to establish control in that side lane. Cabo Shard recalls before anything else happens in that fight. Gets himself out safe and sound. Kasing nearly runs into Rudy in the jungle, but the Unicorns have the push going for them right now. They're looking for top lane tower before the minions from Vitality can actually get there, and they're gonna get this.
Rudy just goes around the side. He's able to stop them from going on in there. And now all of a sudden, Chachi turns on the heat. They get the knockup, looking for Yarden, but he's yanked away by Kasing. Cabo Shard is taken out in the meanwhile. A parting rocket will not do enough damage as all the Unicorns are able to make their escape. Vitality still can't find a kill.
And time and time again, Hyanan is the one getting caught in these fights. This time he survived, but this is happening too often for Vitality. They need Hyanan to be able to output damage. He's finally got past that 2-item spike on Jinx. The problem is, because he's getting caught, he has to just back out, take the Lantern away, can't really deal damage in these team fights, and that means Unicorns of Love with this Corki, with this Lucian, are so strong at fighting.
They definitely are. Throwing that weight around, Fox has been able to pad his score more than anything else, but Steelback throwing down that culling at such a rapid rate has been able to ensure that Vitality don't have nearly enough minions, despite this Baron buff, to do a whole lot. Yarn is going to try to change that. He sends a line of them down. Sing hooks one to finish it off, but all of a sudden, Nuke Duck is being chased down by Rudy and Fox. Sends out the Orb of Deception, a whole line of minions there, and all of a sudden, it's not worth it. Duck staying nice and fine.
I want to revisit something the analyst desk are talking about, and that is how Unicorns have had this multiple changes of junglers now. They started with Diamond, had to swap him out for Joko due to issues. Now they've swapped Joko out for Rudy. And Rudy's having a good game as well. Like, Rudy's having a good week. Like, this kind of engage, yes, he gets played back, but it's enough. It deters some of the disengage that comes, and in goes Chachi. There's no Flay available to stop him going in on Hylissang. You can't stop him from following up, and it's enough for just Unicorns to get a pick and pull back away. And that's tough on a Rek'Sai. Normally you see Rek'Sai as secondary engage, not primary.
No, but Chachi's going to be primary in this case as he finds Shook, who will hop his way up. But what goes up must surely come down. No Raptors available, and Fox picks up yet another kill. Cabo's on the bottom trying to make the best of it, though.
Yeah, the problem is the rest of Vitality have to recall. Cabo has a fairly big stack, but I don't think it's fast enough to push in. Cabo's no teleport, so he has to commit to something here.
He's going to go. Chachi's there.
Recalled for it as well.
Yeah, he'll have to fight him out there, but Yarnan and Nukeduck were enough to stop this push in the mid side. So at the end of the day, Vitality do secure a tower kill for the one kill that they gave up on Shook. And Unicorns can't get much else out of it.
But you can see, unlike the last game where we had Fiora and Poppy, and it was Steve that got almost uncontrollable on Fiora when it came to the 1v1, Visit Chachi is comfortable in a situation now. He has the Iceborne Gauntlet, has the Sunfire Cape, had them for a while, and he's able to just sit in this lane and clear, because Cabochard, while yes, he was having a decent experience advantage and a bit of a farm advantage, it's kind of run out for Cabo. He's 0-3-0, has 2 items, which is fine, only level 1 boots, so he can't afford to be too far up the lane, otherwise he pretty much just dies. And Cabo's just not in a situation where he can control the side lane. He lost the Baron buff in the last fight. It would have expired by now as well, but it's not a good situation to be in for Vitality.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it too, Cabo has been a player that Vitality have been able to rely upon in all of their games extensively. This has got to be, if not his worst score so far, one of. Take a look at it, though, with Unicorns leading the gold game at about 5,000 or 4,000 as it is. 28 minutes into the game, and Vitality have just not been able to find an opening in any fight. This 4-1 is not working as well for them as they'd like. Yes, they've knocked a couple towers down. If they can buy some more time, Chachi's got no teleport, but they can't take on Unicorns face-to-face.
And it kind of exposes the problem that Vitality are having. Yesterday, Fox has gone in.
Big package, and Shook just gonna not waste any time. Burn flash. Fox does get hooked, but Hylissang is there to unbreakable defend him.
This really exposes one of the weaknesses Vitality have had right now is that yesterday they won lane, one game, and just kind of had it work for them. This time, they pretty much lost their lanes. I mean, mid lane got very far behind from Fox. Yes, Nukeduck hasn't died, but Fox has picked up kills elsewhere. Same with AD carry rollers. Hjanen has just not been on form. Cabochard has not been on form. Nukeduck's trying to push down, but he's doing this very slowly because there are members of UOL that are trying to group around him, and he has to be careful.
He keeps waiting in that push. This is never going to work because they keep blue trinketing him. It has definitely been a rougher game for Vitality, and it started out really, really well with the fast reverse push, with the Jinx being able to take out towers quickly, with the secures of the dragons, but there's no way they could do the same thing to Unicorns as they were able to do against Element, because this is just a totally different team. They're tied in the standings. Remember, the winner of this has sole control of 3rd place, and that's definitely not without coincidence for both of these teams. They have showed extraordinary control of the map, but right now, Unicorns is just better.
Yeah, right. In this game, they definitely are. I mean, we've got Baron coming up in 2 minutes. For these teams. UOL, 9 kills to 0. Vitality, very rare you ever see them killless. Like, this is not something that you would expect to see when you saw these 2 teams on paper.
It's bad for me, man. I got Sing on my fantasy.
I got Cabo on mine as well.
Oh, okay. No, you're completely...
Oh,
and Nukeduck might be too. He's going to be able to flash away, though, as Fox takes a lot more damage than he does.
Oh, Rocket's coming by.
Oh, whew, dodge that bullet.
Fox breathes a sigh of relief. It's like,
he didn't even stop.
I had Hylissang here.
I
had Hylissang. Don't worry.
Nukeduck's going to keep on this pushing. They've got a 1-3-1 going on, but the issue is they can't individually duel anyone since Unicorns are too quick at beating them back to the punch.
Unicorns are giving them a lot of room here to breathe. Like, Vitality realistically shouldn't have this setup. Vitality are playing this from behind. And are maintaining a 1-3-1. They caught Rudy.
Rudy is hooked in, but he will tunnel away. And now Hylissang is caught unbreakable. How much is it for real, though? about that much, but he catches him on the backside. Another great hook from Kasing, and his health is so low. The rocket, Yarden starts to run wild. And now they look towards the bottom side. Meanwhile, still a push going on in the top with Cabo and Chachi duking it out. Cabo's winning this one, though.
He is for now. Problem is, he's got Steelback coming alongside. Vitality is starting to become strong again in this game. For as well as the Unicorns were team fighting, they've got a Fiora that wants to scale. They've got a Jinx that wants to scale, and this game is going later for them. So as long as they're making the right map movements, as long as they're in the right place at the right time, taking the right fights, they have enough damage to actually deal with the Unicorns, but it will be tough. The Unicorns still are ahead. Baron is due up very, very... Oh, it's already
2.5k gold still, though. It's not as important in 30 minutes as it was when they had it doubled and it was 15 minutes. But yes, this Baron is such a big objective for these teams. If they can get a catch, Nukeduck just keeps committing to the wait and wait strategy. Rudy's not even going to see him yet because he's not moving. The charm doesn't connect, though.
Nukeduck. I don't think he wanted that chance.
Nah, he wanted the Corki, but Fox is too slippery for him.
At that point, Nukeduck sees 4 people turn the corner and he's like, ooh, okay, don't want that.
Trying to avoid a lot of CC. Both these AD carries sitting on QSS. Steelback's already turned his into a Mercurial. Both teams definitely start eyeballing that Baron. Vision on it is Unicorn's book right now, but that could change on a dime. Vitality don't want to give this one up. But if it comes to a 5v5 fight, we've seen so few of those. It's all been on catches and skirmishes this game.
Yeah, it has been. I'm a little surprised just that Kasing hasn't opted for the banner. Only because, I mean, yesterday we saw 2 ZZ Rot portals, and I'm not an advocate that ZZ Rot portal is a good item, but it serves a purpose. It basically pushes a lane automatically for you. The same thing that a Banner of Command does, and when you're running this kind of composition where you want Nukeduck to go to the solo lane to push it, and then kind of come across for the team fight, it speeds it up. Right. It just makes everything go that step faster and is more difficult to deal with for the Unicorns.
The Unicorns will start posturing around this Baron. I don't think they'll start it up, but there's only one blue trinket. It's immediately going to be popped, and they clear it away, so it's a low enough cooldown, but if Vitality doesn't pick any more up, they may be able to pull that trick again with a couple of pink wards. Now Chachi and Cabo once again duking it out. Dashes and lunges and hammer shots, oh my, into the minions they go. Cabo Shard very low. He does want this kill, but the rest of the Unicorns are hot on the trail. At least Rudy is. Chachi is trying to bait him into this fight. Waits for the parry. There's a flash.
The buckler! Oh, he got it!
Oh, Chachi! 504, what a poppy.
Call him Captain America.
And the rocket missile.
Throws the buckler, gets the rebound. Captain Europe, I guess. It's not quite. But Vitality anyway. That's a big blow to them right now. Losing out in that 1 versus 1 just kind of is going to put Cabo on the back.
I knew it was going to be an epic 1v1 though. Let's see, the Baron's getting started. Hylissang is on zoning duty, but Smite is here. Shook is around the backside. See, Hylissang is caught up by Nukeduck. He might be in a bit of trouble as he took over. They bail away from the Baron, and now Nukeduck comes in a little bit too close for comfort. There's the Summoner Heal to keep him alive, and Chachi is in hot pursuit. Let's see if they can make the play. Cabo Shard still got 15 seconds on the line. Chachi going low, Chachi going down. Shook separated from the team, but they answer back with a kill on Kasing. Nukeduck, Yarden, he gunned up. A winner's bite will finish him off. Nukeduck's down, and Unicorns of Love have the opening to push the base.
Cabo Shard is up, but can he deal with 4 people? I would say no with this Winter's Bite still available on Braum. Rudy is still with the team as well. Shook's recalled.
Shook is recalled, so it's a 4-on-2 as Cabo Shard is just sucking in to try and do it, but they're still doing enough damage to these towers. Shook's trying to deter him. Cabo, Hylissang nearly goes down. They are playing with fire here, and it is so low, but they've caught Cabo. They got the knockup. Rudy pushing it back, but he's still alive. Fox, there's the cleanse, looking for Shook, backs away. What a close call, and they don't secure the Nexus Tower.
Oh, there was just enough with Kasing coming up. A great hold by Cabo Shard and Shook just to hold in front. Teleport coming in from Cabo Shard with
Rudy
the
gets the juke.
He's not.
Another juke. All right. That was
hide and seek time, Cabo Shard. How good are you?
He finds Fox, who's going to have to run away.
The ult out.
Rudy. Fox has got to go.
He's no mana.
Oh, the rocket. Fox on the run. slippery Earth Rider Corki, but Cabo is not giving up.
Hilly's here.
He's got the winner's bite, but can he still do the outplay? And in comes Chachi. Oh, popping Hilly down, but they manage to secure him. Gets the knock-up. Kasing's coming around the side. Culling is procced, and Cabo is pulled to safety. Holy crap.
Ooh, wow, that sequence, top lane, Fox got out from all of it. Man, that's the great escape there. Rudy's caught.
Yeah, Kasing, though, is taking the most of the damage, and he's getting hammered down, but he stays alive. Throws the lantern, they turn it on to Rudy. And they back away once again. So many close calls this game. In and around that Baron pit. And now the side waves are the point of contention. Downed inhibitor in the top side. It looks like Vitality looked to patch up some holes there as they send Cabo down to the bottom side to deal with that wave.
Oh man, Vitality just holding on by their fingertips. Man, this has been a very back and forth game for what started was a really slow game. 17 minutes, we only had 2 kills. We're now up to 16 kills.
It's a
in the last 20
game,
minutes.
Press.
Well,
this Baron, hey, in terms of excitement, my heart is a pounding as Unicorns look to secure this Baron buff. Knocked Shook against the wall. There's the rocket. They managed to double kill. Fox. 2 kills on it, and Shook turns into the pit. Steals it away. Steelback and Hilly are way too low, but the calling comes out as Steelback picks up that one and knocks down Shook again. A double kill for the Lucian. So 3 members of Vitality sitting on the Baron buff. Shut down for Yarden as he's able to secure Chachi. And now they look for Hillisang. Way too slow around the side. It's only a matter of time. And Vitality come up huge here, but they've got super minions knocking on the front door.
yeah, they actually can't use this Baron buff yet. They have to wait for the timers to come back up. Cabochard did recall and push the minions back out of the base. He's gonna collapse onto Hillisang now as well. Hilly's a goner.
It's been a wild ride, but Hilly will finally go down. Rom's adventure ends there for the time being. So looking across the scoreboard, it is just so damn even. 100 gold separate these two teams at 37.5 minutes in. What a game.
Man, Unicorn started the Baron, and again we see a team get baited into the Baron. At this point they thought it was safe, they thought everything was good. Nukeduck, however, with the plays, getting in there, lands the damage is enough for Hyanan to follow up on him. From there, split focus from the Unicorns. Hillisang was trying to defend against Nukeduck, and Shook sneaks himself over the wall for the steal, and it's business as usual for Hyanan on cleanup duty from here.
Yeah, that's what I love about it, Jinx. It doesn't matter how many rockets you miss, when you land that one, man, it feels good.
Hey, you miss every rocket you don't fire.
Hey, look at that score he's managed to rack himself up. Yeah, he's had a number of deaths. A couple of those were definitely dumb mistakes. 5-3-1 is nothing to sneeze at. Late game, Jinx definitely coming into her own. And you're going to see Steelback, even though he's got the ridiculous cooldown reduction, not be quite as effective except for clearing those minion waves.
And you can see Hyanan is being realistic about those mistakes as well. He says, well, I've had to flash out of things quite a few times, so I'm going Distortion. Gonna have that on a lower cooldown. And he's like, no, I don't want that to happen again. Captain Boots on Kasing as well, so he makes a hook. We'll follow that up. Captain Hook.
Wow.
Sorry.
It's been a while since
I'll
we've seen
leave.
it. Oh, no, I'll give it to you. You get one.
I'll get
Because last week it was me doing those, so we'll take a look as Vitality holds strong in the middle. They have a wave just about even on top, looks a bit bigger, so it should start pushing in their favor. The really crucial thing, though, for Unicorns, if they want to start these fights and get back into this, after they wait off the Baron buff, that is to get Rudy into a good position to ult to a tunnel and start the flank, because there's definitely been a couple of misfires on that front.
Well, Inhib is coming up as well, so Vitality are going to be looking to
speaking of flanks, teleport around the backside, it's Chachi. They've already caught Shook, though, and in he goes, charging heroically. Steelback picks up the kill onto Shook, and Cabochard has absolutely no chance. Shut down, and a Yarden! Holy kills there! Not quite down yet, but very low on the side of Unicorns. They can't keep pushing this one, but they've already got 2. Now looking for Kasing. Fox and Rudy should be able to finish him off, and they do. Fox picks up another kill in this game, and Chachi goes all the way deep, but he intercepts a rocket. It's Nukeduck that gets the kill credit, and all said and done, 3 for 1.
Okay, so they give top inhibitor now. Hyanan has to stay alive. If Hyanan dies, this game is pretty much done with it in favor of the Unicorns. Unicorns will take both mid and top inhibs, or attempt to. It is all on the AD carry now for Vitality. No flash available. If one stray Winter's Bite lands, it could have been curtains for Hyanan, but that is the end of that sequence. They survive with 1 inhibitor remaining.
And talk about the push. We did get to see a banner of command, but it is Hillsang who built it. So Unicorns are going all in on this push strat. They've got 2 inhibitors, and in a heart-pounding game, we've hit 40 minutes on the clock. Let's see how that all went down with the teleport for Chachi.
And this was Cabo being a little bit late to this fight. He appears right in the middle of 4 members of the Unicorns without Shook to back him up. And Kjarnan's having a kite back here the entire time this fight.
Yeah, it appeared right in the middle of 4 members, and then he pulled his disappearing act. Unfortunately, Vitality was not what they needed. Kusing followed him down to the grave, and well, you know the rest of it. So Unicorn's right back in this, but the gold stays maddeningly close.
It does. So, like, considering how this game started, very slow paced. At least it exploded past 20 minutes.
Yeah. And you can see how close it is. Look at that Baron power play. It's not the lowest we've had today.
Well, the thing about Baron power plays is the later the game goes, the lower the Baron power plays the actual value becomes, because pretty much most of the gain is just in the Baron itself, the Baron gold that you get.
That was even less.
Yeah, exactly. It's not quite as less as the one we had earlier today that was 128.
Well, when you get wiped.
When you get wiped, yeah, that's not great. But when there's not a lot to take, or the inability to take, which is more relevant in this game. Like, Vitality couldn't actually push forward, so it means that they didn't actually gain anything too much more. So, UOL in this situation are looking to close in. They've got the 2 lanes of supers. Vitality can't do too much here. They're just for like
Nuke Duck, speaking of picks, they almost got him as they knock up with the Glacial Fissure, but they've got to worry about the supers pouring in the top side, sending Cabo on cleanup duty, but that means they will only have 3 left to defend with Nuke Duck back in the base.
It's so difficult though for Kjarnan right now. He's got to chunk through a Poppy that has a Thorn Mail, a Sunfire Cape, an Iceborne Gauntlet. On the other side, you've got a Randuin's.
Chachi's winding up.
Yeah, Chachi, just for zoning.
Doesn't need it, they've got the tower, and Shook, and Nuke Duck is the one who's caught in. He's getting chunked down oh so closely, and they didn't quite finish him off. Yarden manages to take out Chachi. Can they make the hole? The Rockets, the Jinx is running wild. That's a double kill, and can they pull this defense? Oh, they think they did.
They just hold on to the base again. The 3rd time in a row, Vitality have been just able to deter the push. And it was all because Unicorn started to stacking against the Jinx, against an Ahri, this AoE damage that is just going to shred through them at this point in the game. Man, it is tough for Kjarnan to do enough in these fights, but if they stack like that, he suddenly gets so much more value on his auto attacks, so much more, because just with the amount of damage from multiple people, it is able to wipe them out. We'll take another look at it again. Visachachi, they feel like they have Nuke Duck. Unicorns all go in as one. All 5 people dive onto just the Ahri, and from here, Kjarnan is getting so much damage off onto Rudy, onto Hillsang. Cabochard in the front as well here to apply extra damage. And
don't damage the inhibitor.
Wow, this game is really back and forth when it comes to these pushes.
You know, in really crazy games, I often make the statement that a big fight ends it. I don't think that's true this time. These have been just so close.
It will be true.
Well, when there's a big fight that someone gets aced, but that just hasn't happened. We're 44 minutes into this game. Unicorns are making a beeline rush for mid, though.
However, this hasn't really been the kind of game that you would expect from 2 teams tied for 3rd place. It's been a very open, very sloppy game from both sides when it's come to these later team fights, especially Vitality. A little bit surprised by how loose they played this game. 3rd inhibitor goes down, and they are paying for their mistakes with how torn their base is apart. The threat now is who gets to Baron and does it. Both teams still have all 5 members available. No one should really be rushing it right now because blue trinkets are a thing. They exist. Unicorns aren't available right now. Vitality have 1. So, teleport available for Vitality as well. So Cabo's going to be the one sitting in the base. But can he deal with 3 waves of double super minions? I don't know.
He needs a lot on the Fiora, but they've caught Hillsang and they just blow him up. Well, appropriate Nuke Duck gets that kill.
Like a 60-second death timer normally you'd say is enough to tip this. The problem is 3 lanes of supers means that Vitality can't actually push off just the support kill. It does give them the ability to control the vision though.
I think I should go Baron right now. There's Dragon going down.
Well, the thing is they have to then clear a pink ward, they have to clear wards behind, they have blue trinkets. It's not a decision that you can just make very quickly for Vitality here. And a game that started with 2 dragons in favor of Vitality has tipped to put Unicorns on a point where they have 3 inhibitors already down in favor of the Unicorns. They have 4 dragons already in the bank. 6 minutes more on the clock gives Unicorns a plethora of options to end this game.
Yeah, definitely trying to stack the odds in their favor, just to tip the scales in the game that has been just so balanced, back and forth. Vitality trying to hang on. They've got 2 inhibitors back up, and they've kept Cabochard inside the base and inside the side lanes to clear things up. There's still a couple of wards sitting there, though. It'll be a while before Chachi has the option to try anything sneaky in the teleport department, but 4 members of Vitality sticking it out close, and they are committing to the 4-1, since that's about the only thing they can do with 4 super minions in the bottom side. Cabo's got his work cut out for him, and Unicorns are starting to slow march up.
Oh, Cabo can't really do too much more than he's doing right now. He's like, guys, like, I'm doing it
At least
slowly
he's
but
Fiora.
surely.
He didn't pick a tank. It's not a Cabo-style champion.
That's true. That's very true.
He's played nothing but carries this split. And Unicorns are just going to go for this. They say, you know what? Let's try to make the play that ends the game. Mano a mano, but Mano a Baron is not going to happen as they pull
they
off.
burned the TP at least here.
They did.
Oh, he finished
Cabo.
it. He completed it. Whoa.
Oh, and he instantly bailed out.
Ooh.
Did not want. Vitality say, not today, but they burn a TP to do it, and Chachi's going to have his pretty soon.
Problem is, somebody has to recall to deal with bottom wave right now. Like, that wave is going to push in. Once it pushes up, you can look to do exactly the same play. Either Vitality lose their last remaining tower of the game, or somehow they try and stop Unicorns from taking Baron, which it's just a situation that is a lose-lose, potentially, unless something catastrophic happens and Vitality can win a team fight without the same kind of way they did last time, when Nukdug deals a lot of damage and Hyanan just, you know, picks up the pieces.
Well, see if he's able to. Unicorns continue to keep the Baron pit, rather, the focus of this game, as
They're giving the
Chachi is waiting. Super Minions still streaming in. They've got to make a play now. Vitality does, that is. Unicorns just trying to draw them away and buy some time.
This is so good from the Unicorns. They're like, okay, well, we have to force them to contest this Baron, but they're committing to giving the bottom lane tower, or at least giving extra damage down onto it. They didn't get the tower. A good read from Vitality. Nukdug is going to eat most of the culling, has to back himself away. Ooh, Hyanan step forward. It's a 3-man Baron that is being done. Shook is here. He has been spotted.
It's the 50-50. If they can catch Shook, they can turn that in their favor.
This could be the biggest steal of the spring split.
Oh, he's winding the hammer up. He's going in early, though. It doesn't hit him. And now the fight is on. But Shook's gone down. No more smite. The Baron's still chunking him out, but it's secured by Rudy. And now Vitality, then they have to get away. The game could end right here, right now. The Unicorns are still battering and bruising, but 4 members of Vitality are full holding strong. Nukdug, spear rushing away. Super Minions in. Steel back with the shutdown. He goes down after the fact that Yarden is going for this. Dodging away. Still Minions on the top side, taking out the inhibitors.
Oh, he got
Cabo,
out.
no, he's got to burn the flash, and now he's going down, because Sing and Yarden are all that remains of Vitality. Unicorns have got to end this one as it goes. The double kill, that's the game. 48.5, Unicorns of Love.
That is the game. The Unicorns close this one out and take control of 3rd place.
I got goosebumps, man. Whew. How about those Unicorns? What a back and forth game. But they won it.
Man, that was a slow game into an explosive slugfest to end that one out. Unicorns tried to just brute force the base 4-5 times. Finally, they realized back away, burn the teleport, and bait in Vitality. And the Unicorns of Love are looking a lot more consistent than they have looked previously. And
That is with 3 different junglers.
with 3 different junglers, and that was the biggest problem I think anybody had with the Unicorns, and they seem to have fixed it. For now.
We're getting close to the halfway mark of the split, but for Vitality, that game was just so off the wall. They definitely played a lot out of their comfort zone, really, and they'll have to take a look at that one, but the Unicorns can be so happy as Sheepy just gives a hug to every single player here. They all earned it.
On the other side for Vitality, though, that is going to be a tough game. That's the marker of this kind of team that people dub to be a super team. And coming into this split, you'd say Unicorns of Love, they've made changes, who's their carry, we don't really know, and Vitality, they should be winning this game in their own minds,
Yeah.
The problem is, the reality is, Vitality are not living up to the expectations that a lot of people put on them yet. They have time, we know they're talented players, but Unicorns of Love are the better team right now, and they just proved it. It was sloppy. It was a sloppy game.
Oh, but it was fun.
It was fun, but it's not the most crisp game we've seen. But then again, that can be said for most of the games we've seen today.
That's very true. But this game especially, it started like the two teams playing chess, and then all of a sudden, one person flipped the table, and then they both started throwing chess pieces at each other. That's pretty much how it went down. It was crazy.
Get
But I
rid of
mean,
this.
I'm looking at the damage. It's just off the charts. You see Yarnan was running wild in this game. Obviously, we know that the Corki was just such an insanely powerful pick. We've heard a lot of people talk about it at length. We had our little segment on it. And I was just happy to see Chachi pick up new Poppy and see what he made of that champion.
Yeah, I was as well. He had a decent game. He was able to control Kabashad for a long, long time in that game as well.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
Yeah, and not only that, Rudy, I think we had some question marks about him because he definitely showed off some more rookie mistakes, possibly some communication errors, but still crisp where it counted.
I would say that the mistakes that Rudy, if you could even really call them mistakes, for the most part, he was very solid. The mistakes weren't critical and was later on into the game.
Yeah, well, it was Rek'Sai too.
And the thing is, though, that's the point of part of the game that you don't get from solo queue, is late game in LCS. Difficult to do, but you know, Rudy impressed us.
Absolutely, and we're going to go ahead and talk to him. So let's send it side stage where Pulse is standing by.
Thanks, Pyra. Hi, it's Pulse, and I'm with...
Hi, it's Rudy, jungle only.
And first off, that was an incredible game. It was like super back and forth. What was happening on the team comms during all those big moments, the Baron play and like the Nexus going down? What was happening?
We were calling out what we were gonna do next, and maybe a bit hectic, but it was controllable. We had the game in the pocket. We were confident we were gonna win, no problem.
You were very confident. Was that from the game plan, or what was happening from the start?
They really put me in the game, and I'm really calm when I play with them because we do all the what could happen, a lot of the scenarios that could happen, and it's all good. Like we stall, like when Brom got caught, we stalled out, and it was all good. There was no problem.
Well, talking about being very confident with your teammates, we've basically seen the Unicorns of Love just plug and play so many junglers. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. The working environment is really good with them. Like you can just like they're really friendly, and I really like the environment playing with them, and it feels like you're part of the team now. Even though I've only played 2 games, as you said. So yeah, it was really nice. Like I don't feel like an outsider, you know. I feel like I'm a part of the team now. That's really good. That's really great.
Oh, that's cool. And also being from like a very strong solo queue player, how is it like adapting to competitive play? Because it's working out with the team, but how is it like on the field?
I feel like I have. I'm more bound to help my teammates than rather than myself. Because in solo queue, what you do is you build damage. Like if I want to carry games, because I'm currently rank 3 in the US. So what I do is I just go full damage no matter what most of the times because I can't rely on my team in solo queue most of the time because I don't know I might have a DC or they just are lagging or whatever. But with competitive you have to really focus around your teammates and let them carry because jungler is like a supportish role in competitive play rather than carry in solo queue.
Well, that's fantastic insight. Thank you very much for taking the time to give me this interview, and congratulations on the win. We're going to send it over to the analyst desk to take a look at that game.
Thank you very much, Pulse. Fantastic interview, honestly. How do you think he's been doing, Rudy? Because as he said there, it's so different from solo queue, obviously. How do you think he's adjusting?
Actually, I think Rudy is playing pretty good in competitive. So
implying that he isn't?
Are you surprised?
I'm kind of surprised,
okay.
yeah.
What is he doing well then here?
I think he's been like in the right places in the right time. He's been farming pretty well, and his mechanics were on point, so I can't say anything bad about him.
And again, it comes down to also Unicorns now, as he was talking about in the interview. They keep talking about what should we do next. You know, what is our options? What can we do? Where do we need you to go? And then he can follow the calls, and then he can go in there and use his mechanics.
Well, that also applies in picks and bans because odd things happened. We'll get a graphic up in just a second. They first picked Lucian. Obviously, Kabashard played Lucian yesterday and did really well on that. Then you'd expect some things would get taken away from them. Yet they get their hands on Poppy and Corki. And it's a first pick Thresh coming out of Vitality, showing what they've put priority on. What did you make of it?
I actually think the draft fucking sucked. Like, picking Thresh and Elise in first rotation was horrible. When they just give free Corki and Poppy, it doesn't make any sense. Like even if they first picked Lucian, which was like okay by Vitality, by Unicorns Love, since Lucian is a really high probability pick, but not taking the 2 most OP champs in the game after, I don't know, it was just horrible.
I agree with Perks. I agree. It was really, really odd first rotation from Vitality, and also, I mean, Jinx, everyone is trying to find that 4th AD carry that can fit in when all the 3 top AD carries are gone, and we see many different ones. I still prefer like likes of Ezreal, Caitlyn maybe. Jinx takes too long to really come online.
It does, but somehow she almost decided the game at the end because so many things happened. First up, and we have a replay of this, you called out the way UOL played the lane swap. You actually said they lose the game right here, right now.
I mean, sure, quick statements, but yeah, I did say that because if you just roll the clip, what happens is Vitality is a lot quicker at taking down tower. Also because they have a Jinx, this is where she does well in taking down early towers. So by doing this so quickly compared to Unicorns who's only on like 70%, it means Cabochard on your minimap gets to sit and farm for such a long time and nothing happens. While Vitality can swap their dual lane to top side and deny Chachi. So right here Cabochard gets like 25 CS and Chachi's sitting on like 4 CS. And normally this would put your top laner so far behind that you can barely do anything. Because it also means you can just make the follow-up play where Cabochard now can just go top lane and catch another wave with his team pushing in. Or even actually believe in this one, he catches the bot wave. Because, again, Unicorns are so far behind in tempo. The top tower is already dying. And Unicorns are now reaching the bot lane tower. Perks, in your opinion?
I agree with you, everything you said. I think Unicorns Love got kind of outplayed in lane stuff. They were so late on everything. And Vitality should have snowballed more from that, I think. And not throw their lead.
Yeah, because next replay that comes up has a play which actually is what starts everything for Unicorns of Love. This play.
Okay, so Fox goes in. I think he could have ulted maybe a bit right to zone off Cabochard. It was still okay play, but then Nuda comes in and uses pretty bad charm and then not flashing or using another ult stack on Poppy ult, which made him actually lose the fight. I mean, he could have killed 2 of them and the other one got away, but yeah, it was pretty poorly played by Nuda.
So you would prefer it if he had maybe another dash before he charmed? Because like it's a max range charm.
Yeah, he should have dashed into the Corki and then charm him there, like from close range, so he can't flash. Or whatever, he didn't even have flash, I think. Yeah.
Don't think, yeah, he
didn't even have flash, so yeah, it was just horrible.
Perks, what's your opinion of these 2 mid players in general? We were talking about the fact that Fox is resembling more of his Spring 2015 play, aggressively roaming here, making that play up against Nukeduck. What do you make of them?
I think both of them are like pretty good, but right now I think Nukeduck is actually underperforming. Fox is playing pretty good, so yeah, I'm looking forward to see more of him.
All right, and we did see more of it in this game as well. The whole team, we specifically highlighted Chachi. That one-on-one, of course, comes to mind in the bottom lane, but in general, in the beginning of the year, we asked the question, will he transfer to more carry champions? Will he play different roles in the game? And he seems to be the backbone.
Yeah, for sure. Chachi and Hillesang, I guess we can say the 2 old school players on this team, is doing extremely well, especially Chachi in a game like this. He's able to play Poppy both well in team fights, but also in the side lanes, winning against Cabochard. But also another player Steelback, and like he's really become that carry for the Unicorns of Love we see. And do you think he's right now one of the best AD carries in Europe, Perks?
I think so, yeah. I think Steelback has been playing pretty impressively, actually. His mechanics were on point almost every team fight, almost every game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see more of him as well. He's really improved a lot.
Steelback now, one of the best AD carries in Europe.
Yeah, I know you want to linger on that one for a little bit, and they lingered in the game, actually. You know, we talked about the shot calling, and they have clear plans. Somehow, though, Chaos Style was back. We had, I think, 20 minutes of fights, Barons, yes, no, and we're going to see a couple of images of that as well. But in the end, it was UOL coming out on top, almost, though, that Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx got really fed in the end, and Yanin tried to carry some of these team fights, but we talked about it on the desk, how Unicorns of Love still have enough damage to take down almost anyone on the side of Vitality. Only Elise was really tanky, and that's not enough of a front line.
Yeah, he's not really tanky late game.
And we just get these big team fights. Communication-wise, though, I mean, now I know G2 obviously never goes late game at this point, but when you do have these fights back and forth, Perks, what do you feel is the most important thing to do as a team to talk about?
You mean in the fights?
Yeah, or like just how you're setting up the fight, or the hectic games.
They didn't even have vision, like they didn't even play on vision, they were just randomly fighting all the time, all game. They didn't set up vision, they didn't play around the strong side. They basically just forced the Baron and pray for the best, but yeah, it was really a messy play.
So this is the one I think Shook goes down in the end, and it actually seals the deal for Unicorns of Love. But again, we're almost in like a 50-50 smite position. Chachi misses his ulti on him, and
well,
back and forth.
Remember, Unicorns of Love had 9 kills to 0 in the better part of that game, and then everything happened. But in the end, they do manage to close it out. True to the Unicorns of Love style, we do see here that Jarnen, I mean, if he's left alone, he kills your entire team, basically. But it didn't get to that.
I think Unicorns will look back at this game and look at the first Baron they took, which was the one that actually got Vitality back into the game.
Yeah.
Where Nukeduck gets the charm and the Q over 2 members and then a rocket from Jarnen. Outside of that one play, there was a big misplay for Unicorns. They actually did really well. If we look at the mid-game, where they picked up so many kills over Vitality.
Yeah. Looking at all the games Vitality and Unicorns of Love played so far, Perks UOL is now in 3rd. Who is the rightful 3rd place team in Europe?
Well, I have to give it to them. I think they're a top 3 team in Europe right now. Like, I wouldn't expect that, but they have been playing really good and yeah.
All right. Well, you will be leaving us on the desk here. We already heard a couple of big statements from you, so maybe one more. Who's going to win the Spring Split?
I think Jeez is going to win the Spring Split.
Who's going to be the MVP of the Spring Split?
What do you think?
All right, there we go. Thank you very
I'm
much.
going to say Trick.
What?
Well, thank you very much for joining us in the G2 Riding High with Perks and their victory for the Unicorns of Love. We're going to step away as we ready to rift for the next match on the slate between Origin and Giants. Keep it tuned right here. The European LCS will be right back.
They don't know us. Unicorn, they don't know us. They don't know how good we are.
They know how good I am, so they're already scared.
They don't know who you are.
They do.
They know our names, not our stories.
Kasing can't get to his rescue in time. Chachi's got the kill. Kasing has got to flay away.
I'm on Jinx. They got the Jinx.
Flash. Kill him all.
Kill Trash. Fiora.
Chachi going low. Chachi going down. Shook separated from the team, but they answer back with a kill on Kasing. Nukeduck, Jarnen, he timed up. A winner's fight. We'll finish him off. Knock Shook against the wall. There's the rocket. They managed to double kill. Fox, 2 kills on it, and Shook turns into the pit. Steal back in Hilly are way too low. Jarnen manages to take out Chachi. Can they make the hole? The Rockets. The Jinx is running wild. That's a double kill.
Jinx.
Keep going, guys. Keep going. I got Jinx. She's gonna die. She's dead.
Nice. Good job. Nice one, boys. Nice guys.
And the Unicorns close this one out and take control of 3rd place.